Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Habibis, September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And as a blood oath that we gave to your mother, Mary
Hi, Mom.
Jay, we have been every episode of Habibi Power Hour, with the exception of September 11th, because that was a surprise attack. We're obviously going to be talking about Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in the very beginning of each episode. So this week we want to talk about diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma, which is a brain tumor found in a part of the brainstem called the pons. Now, this is a particular cancer that actually took the life of Neil Armstrong's daughter in 1962. Now, I'm not going to get into obviously all the specifics, but basically there's a House of Representatives resolution, HR 404, which designates May 17th as DIPG Awareness Day. Now, this resolution expresses support for the designation of DIPG Awareness Day. And basically, with all of the co-sponsors, it may not do much, because usually House resolutions don't do much in general, nor do Senate resolutions. But it's really the acknowledgement by one of the highest legislative bodies in the United States that DIPG obviously is a severe form of childhood cancer. But I want to obviously highlight a particular note that your mother sent us, Jay. And that is, quote, "They've been trying to designate May 17th as DIPG Awareness Day for so long, and that bitch, Nancy Pelosi, won't even meet with these families." And then she followed up by saying, "Don't quote me on that." Mary, super bass, we love you. And
Absolutely.
Habibis, welcome to another episode of Habibi Power Hour.
Do you believe the Holocaust happened? That 6 million Jews were slaughtered?
Well, historical events should be investigated by researchers and historians.
Well, first of all, let's put this in perspective. Inflation rate month to month is just up just an inch.
Also in the 60 Minutes interview said that the pandemic is over.
So, just to step back for a second, what we saw during that interview, 60-minute interview, when he made those comments.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
What's going on, Habibis? I'm Siraj Hashmi.
And I'm Mujahed Kobbe.
And we're the Habibi Bros, and I forgot to change my shirt. Jay, hold on one second. You're gonna get some nudity. Is it too early in the show for nudity? Is it too early in the show for nudity?
I don't think it's ever too early for nudity on this show. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to you.
Let's do it. Give it to me, baby. Why do you look like you're in a cave?
We go. Oh shit! I forgot to put the shirt on. Jay, it's because I am in the cave.
Hell yeah. Which one?
I'm in our uncle's cave.
Oh, mashallah, the one he left us on. Left us in the will.
Yes, he left us in the will. It's exactly what he did.
No, he did right before he took the plane out. You got this.
Wow,
there you go.
Yeah, there we go. Welcome, Habibis. Welcome.
It's almost like you've done this before.
I know, Jay. Everything feels so familiar, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
It really does. Before we get into all of the big stories of the day, obviously the first and foremost, this is a BB Power Hour where we get drunk and talk about the news. I have an early day, and also I'm a lightweight, so I'm not drinking tonight.
God damn it! Like every fucking night, I'm the only one who drinks, and I'm drinking some fucking hard stuff tonight too, straight from the motherland, Arak. And this one is actually straight from Lebanon. Look at that, just like me.
Wonderful. Number two, we obviously this is for the for the Habibis who have been around for quite some time. You know how raw and unfiltered this show is. So if you want a family program, now's the time to potentially watch this later when the kids aren't around. Make sure they're asleep. Thirdly,
we can teach them how to count in Arabic if you want.
Yeah, we can teach them how to count in Arabic. Usually, but Jay, obviously, we usually teach them how to count down because it's every right.
Yeah, it's always countdown.
Yeah. And then finally, if you really like and want to support us, and also gain access to the new Habibi Discord server, I know some of the Habibis who have been part of the old Habibi Discord server are wondering where the hell it went. You would actually need to support us on our locals community, and hopefully Spencer will actually throw up the banner for our locals. Basically, there's a link in the description of this episode. Use the promo code JenRubin69. You get 1 month free trial for all locals. Obviously, the main perk is the Discord server. We do post some premium episodes on there. Jay and I have been a little bit busy, so we're still getting up to speed on that. And yeah, obviously your support means the world to us. We promise that when you donate to us on whether it be Rumble, whether it be YouTube, whether it be locals, or even our Patreon, which is still active, we promise that the what is it? Which department, Jay? Is it the FBI's financial terrorism division? They won't come looking after you. Come.
No, not at all.
So
they will come.
They will come.
Not after you.
To answer Hobby Clib's question of locals is like OnlyFans, right? Technically, except the opposite, in which you actually pay us to keep our clothes on.
Yeah, that's the only one. That's the only way we keep our shirts on.
Yeah, so you actually have to pay to put more clothes on us. The reverse strip club. Jay, a lot happening in the news this week. We don't have a whole lot of time, but let's get right into it.
It seems like most of it was just happening today.
Yeah, it's insane. So let's quickly start off with obviously all this news happening overseas, specifically in Iran. Now, I don't know who it was who said that Joe Biden is like Jimmy Carter 2.0, but whoever said it nailed it on its head because everything seems way too familiar. And Jay, you and I were only born in 1987, 1988, so we have no idea, no context, but we can only be told how bad things were.
Wasn't that Ben Affleck movie like based on a true story?
Argo, yeah.
Yeah, you can just go watch that. That's a pretty good indication.
Yeah. So the Iranian Revolution of 1979, in which how many American hostages were taken? What was it like?
I think it was 14. 300. I thought it was it 14?
Hold on. No, it couldn't have been 300. That's too much. 69. Right? 52. Damn it.
We were both a little
lot.
off.
That's still a lot.
We were both a little off. No, that was a lot.
That's
yeah. I love the Habibis. They come in, they let us know when we're wrong.
Immediately fact check us, which we hope you do. And I get fact checked. I literally get fact checked.
Checked?
I get fact checked. Jay, I get fact check.
Oh.
Now, I get fact checks from people all the time after the fact about you, which is funny because, like, I'm obviously not you, but
fact checked about me on what?
Oh no, just about like things that you rant about.
Oh, they come. Why do they go after you for that?
No, they don't go after me. They just tell me because I'm like the only connect that they have.
Right. Especially because they don't know which account I'm on right now.
Yeah. But it's okay. So in Iran right now, there's widespread protests around the country and violent crackdowns from the Iranian regime following the murder of, and Jay, you're gonna have to forgive me on this. It's Mahsa Amini. Is that it?
I don't speak Farsi or have a Persian accent, so it's
Mahsa
probably
Amini.
right. Mahsa. I would go Mahsa Mahini, but that's just how you say it in Arabic.
Well, again, neither of us are Persian. I lived in Pakistan for 6 years, which is bordering.
How would you say it in Pakistani?
Masa Amini.
There you go.
So she, oh God, this is a weird segue. Masa Amini, she was a 22-year-old Kurdish woman from Sakaz in Western Iran. That's a Kurdish region of Iran. She was apprehended by the moral religious police, specifically for not wearing her hijab in the correct way, not wearing it all together, maybe a few strands of hair popping out.
Right.
But basically, and Jay, this is like your favorite segment because for those of you who don't know, Jay is an atheist, even though he grew up as a Muslim. I still love him though. I don't think of him as any less, and if anything,
As an infidel.
I don't think of him as an infidel. But I don't know. It's different because this is happening in Iran. So like you can obviously attribute this to like the radicalism of like the Iranian regime.
Right.
But what's interesting about all of this, and maybe Jay, you can shed a little bit of light on this because you've probably seen a lot of the reaction to it, is that some people feel apprehensive to comment or even condemn the Iranian regime because a lot of liberals feel that the hijab should be encouraged for women and girls to wear, or they almost support the Iranian regime. I don't know. What do you think, Jay?
No, it's because they're retarded. It's very disgusting watching them support something like the hijab because it's not just the Iranian regime that does this, and it's not just in countries that will throw legal action on somebody for not wearing the hijab. It's also in Muslim families all over the world. It's there's a very small percentage, like the amount of percentage of people who actually have the freedom to choose whether or not to wear the hijab versus everyone who's coerced or forced to wear it, whether it be family pressure or pressure from regimes like the Iranian regime. The hijab in of itself is a symbol of oppression. It's not supposed to be a symbol of freedom. Even what it represents is a symbol of oppression, not a symbol of freedom.
So, okay. I mean, like, I have somewhat of a different view because I've never really felt like the hijab was a symbol of oppression, but the practical application of it in many Muslim countries has been done under the premise that they need to control the population, control the women, because men somehow just can't control themselves, and it's almost actually it's almost misandry at this point, right, Jay? Misandry. You know, it's anti-man because it's assuming that men cannot, we cannot be disciplined enough to withhold many of our desires and urges around women, which probably
but that's not the way that they view it. They don't.
I know
view
that's
it
not
as,
the way
as
they
a way,
view it.
Like if you really get into it with some of these guys, the way that they see the hijab, and there's like, if you go to Arab or Islamic Twitter as well, there's like so many memes on it. For example, they'll show a meme of an opened lollipop with ants all over it and one that's wrapped, and it says, which one would you eat?
Wait, hold on, say that one more time.
So they will show a meme of an unwrapped lollipop with ants all over it on the dirt, and then they'll show one that's wrapped up and ask which one would you eat in Arabic.
Oh, okay.
So they view it as you're like unclean or devious or not what a woman is supposed to be if you don't wear the hijab.
I see.
So
wow.
It's not a view of it being, a temptation on men. It is a view on women being either unclean or unworthy.
Habibis, I'd like to announce tonight that the Habibi Bros are going on tour in Iran. Oh, okay. I guess I missed this one.
So
Yeah,
and
that's pretty
and
bad.
when it comes to the hijab as well, especially when girls are growing up, it is instilled in them that they need to wear the hijab to be clean. They need to wear the hijab to be modest. They need to wear the hijab to go into heaven. They need to wear the hijab or they go to hell. I mean, when you give children these type of ultimatums and shit growing up, you're definitely going to coerce their behavior into doing what you
Oh
want.
no, I could definitely see what you're saying about that because at least in my upbringing, while none of my not neither my mom nor my two sisters wore hijab, at least in like Muslim countries, they felt in many ways it was almost it's funny because there's a like obvious tie-in to like what we're gonna talk about now. What are you doing, Spencer? Absolutely fired. He is messing up the show as usual. Spencer, our producer, Spencer Sachs, who's obviously sacked. Now I'm getting off my train of thought, but to get back to it, if you remember, throughout COVID, the COVID lockdowns, and even the mask mandates, there seems to be like somewhat of a parallel there, Jay, because it's not so much so the idea of what the cloth means as what it means of like your status, what you're signaling, and also the type of negative attention that you're avoiding by continuing to wear something like the hijab or like a face mask, like many folks in the West were mandated to do during COVID. I mean, it's kind of strange. It's almost I don't think we can really say that Democrats are fully like
The Iranian regime.
no, I was going to say that they're more like the Iranian regime than like maybe any other autocratic or authoritarian government. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm the one drinking.
Jay, it's been a long day, okay? I've been traveling. You can obviously tell I'm not like home right now, which means someone's probably going to break into my house.
Isn't Ern there?
Ernie is here. He's upstairs.
Oh, Ernie's with you.
Ernie's with me.
Oh, you take him wherever you go.
I have to. No, I'm actually up at my in-laws' place, so that's
right. So you drove up there with Ern?
No, I flew.
With Ern?
So close to 9/11. Yes, with Ern. Yeah.
How do you fly with a dog? Where do they put him?
Oh, I rode him. Yeah.
He's so small.
I know he's tiny, but he's such a thick boy. Okay, so a lot of happening in Iran right now. It feels different, Jay. It really does feel different. I don't know what's going to happen, but there are protests throughout the country. A lot of violent crackdowns. The UN General Assembly is happening this week, and supposedly Biden had exchanged some words with is it Iran? Is the Iranian president named Raisi? Obviously we don't know exactly what he said, but I can only imagine.
Is your name Billy? Is your name Billy? Is that you?
Can you freshen this glass up for me?
Thank you, Billy. I'll take 2 Thai.
Oh man, Joe Biden.
I can just imagine what the fuck he was going to say. And the funny thing is like these people. You think they give a fuck, a flying fuck, what these guys, what somebody like Biden is going to tell them? Like a flying fucking shit on the wall. Nothing. They will give no fucks whatsoever.
What's so wild about it to me is that Biden, like everybody knows Biden is weak. Like it's not a secret to anyone.
Right.
What can he possibly say that will strike fear into the hearts of any of his adversaries on the world stage? I can't think of a single thing that, and also I just go ahead, Jay.
I was going to say that he has the second half of Hunter Biden's hard drive that has all of them in an orgy piss party.
Actually,
That would probably
I could probably
actually
see
happen.
Yeah, I could probably see that, the piss orgies. So I wanted to highlight one more thing about all of this, and maybe some food for thought, because Joe Biden had that speech in Philadelphia where he basically like condemned half the country, calling them MAGA Republicans, his obvious fixation on Donald Trump. And we'll get into some of this more other stories about Donald Trump that broke today. But one of the things that obviously seemed kind of, I guess, didn't really compute or connect, maybe because I'm slow, Jay, and just a downright idiot, is that while you
Both
have
things
Joe,
true.
which are both true, is that Joe Biden condemning half of the country and calling them those MAGA Republicans or ultra MAGA. I don't know if anyone was like genuinely upset by it, other than like the fact that he was using this type of rhetoric. Because like if you think about it, Joe Biden is just such a decrepit old man with applesauce for brains that him putting any of this stuff together in even a coherent sentence is kind of it's downright laughable, Jay. I don't know why anybody would be intimidated by him, but this is the part that will. There's a big but, and Jay, I know you love big butts.
I cannot lie.
You cannot lie. The people who are handling Joe Biden, who are behind all of this, they're the ones obviously who we should be wary of, because you've already had the FBI, DHS cracking down on basically any political dissenters. I'm not saying we're at Iranian regime levels, but certainly getting there. And then you have this guy in North Dakota getting in his car and running over a 18-year-old kid and then admitting that he did it for political reasons because the 18-year-old kid was a conservative.
Yeah, and the biggest thing about this story as well is that you're not seeing it anywhere. No other publication has really been reporting on it. You see it from like the town hall. Fox News hit on it. You had Jesse Waters talking about it, but nowhere else. Like you don't see it on Washington Post. You don't see the talk about rhetoric and how important it is. You don't see fucking Jake Tapper getting on and pretending to fucking tear up and saying rhetoric from our national leaders is very important, and all this type of fucking false garbage that they like to spew just because they want to pretend that their side and who they are like morally superior to everyone else. And when you were talking about the way that he was talking in Philadelphia and the rhetoric he was using against his own American citizens is much harsher than he would talk about Putin, talk about fucking China, talk about Iran that's going on right now, where they're like literally murdering Iranians on the street. Some of them as young as like fucking 15 years old.
Yeah.
And they're murdering women for dissenting. Like everything that's happening in Iran right now is everything they said that would happen in the 4 years that Trump was president.
Yeah, it's insane. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
And you don't have the same the same type of passion and reaction on condemning these things from these people. Instead, you have them like trying to like tiptoe around the hijab and shit. It's like, why?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Oh, all right, so this tweet from Pradeep Shankar says a Democrat killed an 18-year-old by running over him because he thought the kid was a Republican extremist. This would be a national story by CNN or MSNBC if the story was reversed, which is absolutely true. And I should also add that we are only in the initial stages of this investigation. We're not even fully aware of everything that happened. Apparently, this guy who allegedly used his car to run over an 18-year-old dude. I don't know how old this guy was. The suspect. But I can tell you, if you're threatened by an 18-year-old kid, you got a pretty big bussy. Is that how you say it, Jay? Bussy?
Oh,
Right?
I don't know what the rhetoric these kids are using. You know, people born in the 2000s and stuff. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean they're using Bussy left, right, and center. Oh,
I don't know
Shannon
what
Brandt,
Bussy
who
is.
is Shannon Brandt, 41 years old. If you're 41 years old and you're intimidated by an 18-year-old kid, buddy, get fucking real. Okay, this is insane. I can't. I don't understand why anybody would, in their right mind, use their vehicle. Like at that point, like it's not Jay. It's not.
Well,
It's not in self-defense. You're not. It's not self-defense. Okay, it's not self-defense.
no, it's not.
There's
It's the same
zero
thing.
justification for it.
The same thing that happened in the parade. Can you even name the guy? You even remember his name? That thing was not even a national news story for like fucking 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then
It wasn't even a national news story for 30 minutes. But
the Waukesha massacre.
You're right,
God.
where he went in his car and just started plowing through the fucking parade of kids and elderly people. Like, it's disgusting. And the way that they Daryl Brooks, and the way that the national news media picks and choose what they want to push for their narrative, it shows you how fucking fake they are. Absolutely, completely fake.
So just I know we kind of like this wasn't like the real order that we're going to go in the show, but that's okay. You know, this is the free flowing show, and
it's Habibi Power Hour.
It's
this is
Habibi
where
Power
you come.
Hour.
This is where you come to just be free, raw, unfiltered, and come.
So with that being said, we have obviously, even if we don't know what the actual reason for this 18-year-old's death, it's actually pretty stunning that there's just radio silence across the board. Not to mention that if I'm not mistaken, Kaylor Ellingson, the 18-year-old who died, doesn't seem to be. I mean, look, he's darker than me. Oh yeah, I'm not saying the kid. Well, he definitely looks a little bit white, but he's definitely more tan than me, right? Right.
Oh, absolutely. Well, everybody's more tan than you are, to be honest. Even Bhatia is more tan than you are.
Wow. That hurts. That does hurt. But a politically motivated attack nonetheless. If it was a Republican who killed a Democrat specifically,
it's a Democrat, a child too.
Yeah, a child too. I mean, just look at how we responded to the whole Kyle Rittenhouse saga in the very beginning. Before all the facts came in, we thought we bought into the hype, thinking that Kyle Rittenhouse is definitely in the wrong here, and we owned up to it by saying eating our words. I had to eat Jay's ass, but these are the price. This is the price we pay, Jay, for getting into this line of. Do you want to call it work? Do you think this is work? This ain't work.
Absolutely, this is work. What are you talking about?
Okay.
This is absolute work. We put effort and work into this. We come on here every Wednesday. Come. And it's okay. We just bought into the mass stories that the media likes to push. It happens to a lot of people. A lot of people have that layer of fucking fakeness that is shown to them that they buy into. I mean, look at my mom. She was like a hardcore fucking lib, and now she's calling Pelosi a bitch. She would have done that in the like throughout the Trump presidency and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the tail end of it, she came around. But
this has
happened to a lot of people.
Yeah, and just want to highlight. I mean, this is enough. Look, there are a lot of media blackout stories that we want to highlight. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to do all of it. Like this Las Vegas murder, in which a Las Vegas investigative journalist was stabbed to death, allegedly by the Clark County Public Administrator Robert Richard Tellis. And interestingly enough, and I mean, Cold Beer is saying the media also refuses to say the party of the Democrat politician who murdered journalists in Las Vegas. It's almost kind of funny because, like, if it were a Republican, that would be like the thing that they lead off with. I'm looking at this AP story. They don't mention he's a Democrat until like the end of the second paragraph, which obviously the AP, they're probably trying to, make up for it. Okay. I don't know if that was like a ghost edit right there.
No, they're always like every time there's ghost edits, there's no like updated storyline. There's nothing. They'll have it all the way at the end, be like, update, sorry, this is what happened.
Oops.
This is the truth that went on. It's fucking amazing. And more people, like especially the person who lives with TikTok and stuff, they're screenshotting all these messages and stuff that they get from reporters and record them, like fucking take screenshots, do all that kind of stuff. The same thing you would do if you were talking to a fucking cop or FBI agent. Do the same shit to a fucking journalist, because they will take your words, they'll twist it, they'll make them fit in some sort of narrative that they want to fit them in. They won't let you answer the questions the way you want to answer them because it doesn't fit the answer that they want to hear. It's all of them do the same shit. It is a dying fucking industry because it's being filled with fucking activists.
Yeah, everything's filled with activists. The journalism industry obviously being the worst of it, but where it actually impacts your life probably worse than anything is when you get all the. And actually, I don't know. I don't know if we could like rank how bad things are by like industry and when activism comes into play. One thing one of
the worst would be psychiatry and science and sciences and also doctors and stuff with what's going on right now, and the way that they push affirmative care as if that's actual real care for somebody, instead of like telling them, no, you're actually fucking crazy and we need to fucking help you this way. They're like, oh, you're crazy? Yes, but that's fine. It's who you are. It's totally okay.
The thing is, there's activists in virtually every single industry. It's so difficult to say what like when you have activists, judges and prosecutors, there's almost always an incentive to specifically get convictions because it helps with your numbers. Say for like the case of Adnan Syed, who was just released this week after being in prison for 23 years on the conviction of killing his ex-girlfriend Heyman Lee. That's a big. If you haven't been following that story, I mean, we don't really have much time to talk about it. But look, innocent people are jailed all the time. It doesn't matter. It in many ways it disproportionately affects people of color, black and brown people. We know this. Now, there are people who are in prison who maintain their innocence, and they never get out of prison, or they serve their time entirely.
And now we have activist DAs who are just letting fucking criminals off the hook on everything.
Exactly. And in cases like this North Dakota killing, where you had, look, maybe there's a discussion we'd make about like bond rules where like they'll put like a $2 million bond on someone who sold like sold an 8-ball of coke versus someone a $50,000 bond for someone who literally used their car to run over an 18-year-old kid. Look, this justice system is fucked up, man. There's not much I can really say about it. It's fucked up. But there's not a whole lot we can do about it.
I like how we got here.
Huh? What?
I like how we got here. It's crazy.
I know. It's free-flowing conversation. This is Habibi Power Hour. Get drunk and talk about the news. Look, this is a really big story happening. We haven't really talked about the Russia-Ukraine war, but this is noteworthy because of what it means for the conflict and what it means for the Russian people. And that is Vladimir Putin announced this week that he is implementing a partial mobilization policy in which they're pushing 300,000 people into military service. It's basically like a draft.
Right.
It's like Vietnam War all over again. Just in 38 cities across Russia, over 1,200 people were detained for protesting this partial mobilization policy. Now, protesting in Russia is basically illegal. There were people in Moscow, hundreds of protesters chanting, "Send Putin to the trenches, let our children live." Look, this is like it's something I think people can relate to pretty heavily, especially in our lifetime, because there are many people that who grew up with us, Jay, in our generation, who were sent off to war, to maybe a war that they didn't believe in, whether it be Iraq or Iraq.
Or Afghanistan.
And died in that war for something they didn't believe in, but they were doing their what they felt was their duty to their country. And I really feel for the Russian people who are basically being coerced by their government to fight in the war that I'm sure many of them don't believe in.
Right. It sucks. It really does. And what sucks even more is the Russian government was able to fund all of this with euro money.
Specifically because of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline that, to his credit, Donald Trump warned the United Nations, particularly Germany, that they were going to regret it, relying entirely on Russian oil.
Because they paying Russia all these billions of dollars.
They turned off that spigot, and boom! Now we're in an energy crisis in Europe. People are they're chopping down forests left and right.
They're paying out of
because they need the firewood because they don't have gas to heat up their homes. It's insane. A legitimate crisis that it
really is, and it just goes to show that like all of these people who talk about climate change and how important it is, or talk about like what the right thing to do, and how you have to not even they'll even go so far as to be like, you can't even buy this certain book because it says certain things and you have to use pronouns and all this stuff, but they go and turn around and pay billions of dollars to a Russian dictator who's going to use his own people as fucking cannon fodder to go and fight a war in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And they want to speak about all of these fucking social justice issues and justice issues and all of these things when they just do not walk their fucking talk at all. They never have and they never will, but they will force these type of sacrifices on you and your family in order to save the world, but they won't do it themselves.
Everything is insane. Everything is so insane. We don't have enough time to cover all of it because we are only confined to like the 69-minute like cap, because I have to I have an in real life job, Jay, now. Okay.
Right. You do, which is great. Now you know how I feel after all of these type of things, but you don't see me bitching about it like at all ever.
Okay, fair. All right. So, in addition to this partial mobilization policy, there's also been a massive prisoner swap between Ukraine and Russia, where 200 plus Ukrainian POWs were exchanged for Putin ally Viktor Medvedchuk and 55 Russian soldiers. And then, interestingly enough, 108 Azov defenders were reportedly among the group of Ukrainians. Azov, for those of you who are unfamiliar with that at home, those are the actual neo-Nazis of Ukraine. And likely, I imagine that those 108 will receive a medal from Jon Stewart in the coming weeks. So basically, massive turn of events there. It just means that the war is intensifying. I don't know if it'll end in a win, loss, or draw, but I tell you what, kind of focusing back here on the homeland, While the economy is going to shit, the Fed is raising interest rates by 0.75 percentage points. It's the largest rise. I'm sorry. It's one of the larger rises in interest rates, right, Jay? I'm sorry. I'm retarded.
In almost in history, it's been the largest rise in interest rates, and it's just getting so fucking to the boiling point that nobody can hide from it anymore. It's really getting horrible, especially in states like California, where your money is already so fucking thin. Like your money is
worthless. It's literally
here in California.
Toilet paper.
So thin.
Toilet paper in California.
It's scary as shit. And there was a I sent the TikTok over to one of our group chats, and he was talking about just loans for cars, for instance.
Oh yeah,
and how the defaults delinquencies on car notes have been on the fucking rise like insane, because your money goes so short and things are costing a lot more than they used to, that when you go and get a loan for a car, you're not able to make these payments. It's bad. It's going to get to a breaking point. We're going, like, I'm pretty sure we're going to see people like repo officers get fucking killed in the middle of the street for trying to take a car.
Hey Jay,
like,
you thinking what I'm thinking, Jay?
Everybody moved to Florida.
No, I was thinking literally, Jay, you and I start a repo business, literally called Jihadi Repo.
Jihadi repos.
The Habibi Repo boys.
Once we get a car and it rises up, it's like Allahu Akbar, you got told, and we just like
no, Jay, this is what we do. We repossess the car and just turn it into a literal car bomb. Just send it to our cousins and across the world, and just be like, here you go, Muhammad. Do what you will. So we while that's all happening, and while we have this economy tanking all around us, Joe Biden gets on 60 Minutes and tells the country that this is basically the end of it. The economy isn't going to sink any further, and then also tries to put in perspective. He also tries to put this in perspective. I think we have a clip. This is like going to be one of the only clips we play, just because we're obviously so pressed for time. And I literally told Spencer to get a bunch of clips, and we're not going to use them. It's almost like I'm torturing him because I need to. But listen to this little bit.
Mr. President, as you know, last Tuesday, the annual inflation rate came in at 8.3%. The stock market nosedived. People are shocked by their grocery bills. What can you do better and faster?
Well, first of all, let's put this in perspective. Inflation rate month to month was just an inch, hardly at all.
You're not arguing that 8.3 is good news.
No, I'm not saying it's good news, but it was 8.2 before. I mean, I can make it sound like all of a sudden, my God, it went to 8.2%. It's
the highest inflation rate, Mr. President, in 40 years.
I got that. But guess what we are? We're in a position where for the last several months, it hasn't spiked. It has just it's been basically even. And in the meantime, we created all these jobs, and prices have gone up, but they've come down for energy. The fact is that we've created 10 million new jobs. We're in a sense, we
didn't create anything, you piece of shit.
The unemployment rate is about 3.7%, one of the lowest in history. We're in a situation where manufacturing is coming back to the United States in a big way.
Okay, so one thing, obviously, we're not going to play the entire interview. It's like a 25-minute long interview. I watched it before we did the show. One thing that Joe Biden did say to Scott Pelley was that the pandemic is over. And what's so funny is that the White House, like a day or two later, had to walk that back. Literally had to walk back the idea. Who stands to gain? Oh, actually, I know. Obviously, that's a rhetorical question because I know the answer to that. Who stands to gain from having the pandemic continue? Obviously, we all know who.
Right.
Oh, I want to be shot, Jay. I want to be shot.
It's absolutely, it's so insane that they had to walk some shit like that back. And the fact that we can't even say that it's over and we're done and everything is good, that is just so fucking irritating that it's just garbage. They don't want the world, they don't want the American economy to be back open. They don't want people to be open and free and all that kind of stuff. They want it to be
at this point, Jay. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
The fact that you mentioned the economy, that's probably the perfect reason why Joe Biden, or at least the people who handle Joe Biden, want to say that the pandemic is continuing, because otherwise they have no excuse for why the economy is tanking. They can at least say if you know what would be the most interesting tie into all of this or funny thing. I tell you, my brain's not working, but I'm gonna try to go
just today.
I mean, my brain's not working in general, but my brain's specifically doing worse today than any other day. I was just gonna say, what if Putin just like decides to play that reverse, the Uno reverse card? It just says, hey, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and just end the war, but the economy is still shit. Well, what is Biden?
What excuse?
Then? What excuse does Biden have then? Everything is still, the gas is still high, inflation is still at 40-year high.
All of these excuses he uses, and you hear parroted by fucking the people in the left-wing media or blue checks and all that kind of stuff, don't make any sense. Makes zero sense for what's going on in the United States right now and how the economy is being affected and how inflation is being affected by it. It is 100% due to the policies that they pushed and that they're running, and the money that they're spending and printing for no fucking reason whatsoever. There's no reason. I mean, all of the programs and the funds and everything and the COVID relief and all that kind of stuff did nothing to the middle America, did nothing to mom and pop stores, did nothing for anyone whatsoever. Even the parameters they used in order for it fuck shit up. And then after that, they did more. And after that, they sent more COVID release checks to taxpayers. And all of these things did nothing to generate more economy because they closed it all down. And by that time, hundreds of thousands of businesses in California alone, so it's probably in the millions all over the country, shut down forever. Between California and New York and all these places that extended the shutdown, when you lose those businesses and they never come back, you're not generating any more flow of money in that economy. The only thing you're generating is more money to Costco and Amazon and all of these other places that they like to demonize. The best thing to happen for the billionaires and the people who own these billion-dollar companies was COVID. They're the only ones who actually benefited from all of this shit.
The amount of wealth that was generated just from COVID lockdowns for the top one
not even 1%.
Top
0.001%.
Yeah, 0.1% is insane. Just the wealth gap only widened because of COVID, and it's just fascinating coming from people on the left who are like, "Oh, we need to shrink the wealth gap. We need to shrink the wealth gap," and like they're literally encouraging policies that only further divides it. It's insane. Cold beer with another heater says inflation is only acceptable at 6.9%. That's very, very nice.
Very nice.
Teddy Scheckler says we're at the stage of empire collapse when the officials loot the coffers. These spending bills are going to their friends. There was very good reason for the spending. Of course. Jay, the uniparty is real. Okay, I know we don't talk about it enough on the show, probably because it's still somewhat of a new concept. But I've always talked about it as it being two sides of the same coin, Republicans and Democrats, two sides of the same coin, because it doesn't matter who's in power as long as they're as long as they have a seat at the table, they literally can get anything that they want. Because news is moving so fast, we haven't even had a chance to really break into the Martha's Vineyard story, which, Jay, I think that happened just shortly after last week's episode. That was obviously a big story where Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott were sending Venezuelan migrants to Martha's Vineyard, paying for flights to send them up to Martha's Vineyard, to sanctuary states and sanctuary cities. That got a lot of outrage and backlash from people on the left, and no doubt, Jay, it was definitely a political stunt, because it came out of nowhere. For one, it's not like obviously, well, for one, the immigration crisis has been really bad under Biden. They probably just came up with this idea like within like the last month, I'd say.
Yeah.
But the fact that like everything you're seeing happen, I feel it's important to note that in cases such as these, the Biden administration, Democrats, they can do whatever the hell they want when it comes to immigration. They can transport them all over the country. They can detain them, separate the kids from their parents, and you get zero backlash. A Republican does it, and all of a sudden it's national news. It is literally the worst thing since Hitler. It is human trafficking. How does this keep on happening, Jay? Why do we keep seeing something like this happen? If Joe Biden simply closed the borders, then none of this would be a story.
Right. None of it would matter and everything. But the funny thing about it is that we see the rhetoric in our like right in front of our faces. They don't even give a shit that they know it's as obvious as possible that how they flip the switch when talking about things like immigration. They flip it so easily when it was with Trump versus now when it's with Biden. And they want to pretend like it was so horrible to send 50 people to Martha's Vineyard without their knowledge. It's so cruel. You're so cruel to them. Oh my God. While they're stating like we should have open borders, doesn't matter if your children are being used as fucking mules stuffed with cocaine for the cartel and their parents lose $15,000 to move them over to the United States and they get raped on the way here, or they die on the way here, and all of this type of shit. None of that is being said. None of it is being broadcasted because it doesn't fit the preferred narrative of them being the righteous fucking people.
So interestingly enough, there's been a lot of mixed response from the Venezuelan migrants themselves, because there actually has been a lawsuit filed against Ron DeSantis, a class action lawsuit for transporting 50 immigrants from San Antonio, Texas to Martha's Vineyard without shelter or resources in place, according to NPR. I want to also point out that the Venezuelan migrants in El Paso, Texas would like to have at least they would like to get Ron DeSantis on speed dial if possible, because they're getting up to El Paso, Texas, getting up to 2,000 migrants daily, mainly from Venezuela. And I think it's also important to note that I saw this article. Basically, and forgive me if I am messing this up, there was a pretty big story happening in El Paso where a number of migrants were being transported outside of El Paso, Texas, and it was a move approved by the Democratic City Council to basically get them the hell out of El Paso, like transport them somewhere else.
Right.
I'm a little bit fuzzy on the details, but that is essentially what the story
100%.
was about. So take that with a grain of salt. I can't fully say whether I know for a fact or not that DeSantis is behind all of this, or whether like everything that took place was above board. I very clearly stated that it seemed like a political stunt. But it's interesting because it's almost like you need a political stunt to get people on the other side to look in the mirror, because there are tons of things, it's tons of like atrocities happening because of our failed immigration policy. That happening, the human smuggling, human trafficking, sex trafficking, drug trafficking, in addition to all of the horrific acts that are happening to people, to minors, at the hands of these human smugglers and the cartels. It's I don't know if it's like, it's not the most direct way of calling out some people on their hypocrisy, but it's almost like a reach around, right, Jay?
Mm-hmm. It is. But I'm sending something to the private chat right now that you should absolutely fucking.
I'm scared. Do you want to get you want to get Spencer to highlight?
Can you highlight it?
I'm scared. I'm so scared. I can't look at this. Please, Spencer, hurry. Can you zoom in on that? Spencer, you boomer. Sex from Election Legal. Perry Abbasi tweets, sex trafficking, but it's woke. And this is sex with refugees is jasmine scented and beautiful. Oh my God.
Jasmine scented.
Jasmine scented.
Right.
You know that they're Persian, right? You know those refugees are Persian, right?
Absolutely. They're probably you'll find a couple of them named Yasmina too.
Okay. What else happened? Yeah, the Martha's Vineyard stuff, crazy. Did we get Trump, another lawsuit against Trump. Letitia James, the New York Attorney General, who's running for re-election, hyped up this really big announcement that she's going to drop on Wednesday morning, that had the resistance basically creaming their jeans. I know because Jay was creaming his, because he's actually a secret lib.
Yes, I am. That's why I don't move out of California.
That's why he doesn't move.
I find every excuse to stay in California.
Yeah, it's a California. But what ended up happening is that Letitia James filed a civil fraud lawsuit against Donald Trump and his, I want to say offspring, because I don't like saying children when they're 30 and 40 years old. But basically, that's what ended up happening. Jay, look, at this point, if Donald Trump actually committed a crime, just charge the motherfucker. I mean, it is not that difficult. Like, they literally make up charges for like everyone else. Why couldn't they do something like that for Trump if they were so keen on locking him up? Right? Am I going insane? I mean, I know I'm crazy. I know I'm retarded.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Did you miss all of that?
I missed it all. For some reason, I just tapped my mic and it went off. I don't get it. I don't know why that happened.
Jay, you're such a fucking boomer.
I am, but
okay. What I was trying to say, Jay,
that was an accident.
Jay, what I was trying to say was that if they had a crime to charge Donald Trump, wouldn't they have just charged him already?
Of course. So
why are they just wasting taxpayer dollars with these civil fraud lawsuits? I mean, like, at this point, everything is politically motivated. And so far, like, this move by Letitia James is an obvious ploy to try to win her re-election bid in November. But, like, we really need to, like, put in safeguards to, like, avoid this shit, because it's really it's just over the top.
No, it is. And it's obvious what they're trying to do when it comes with Donald Trump, especially. I mean, it was obvious what they were trying to do throughout the whole fucking his 4-year term with Russia collusion and shit. All of it is obvious. None of it is going to stick. None of it even makes fucking sense. And they do it.
Yeah, like they think like civil suits means jail time. Like there's gonna be a freaking perp walk. Like that. People are crazy. Let's get to some fun stories here before we take it out of here. Now, did you hear this, Jay? Did you know this? That wait, this woman in Utah running for public office, Linda Paulson is her name, Utah Republican, drops this sick ass song. Let's listen to it.
Hey, Utah District 12, listen up right here. There's a new name on the ballot for the Senate this year. My name is Linda Paulson, Republican and awesome. Love God and family and the Constitution. I tried to get another conservative to run. Nobody could do it, so I'm getting it done. I'm pro-religious freedom, pro-life, pro-police, the right to bear arms and the right to free speech. I want less government control and regulation, want to stop and expose all political corruption where integrity, morality, accountability. Government programs should lead to self-sufficiency and support traditional family as the fundamental unit of society. But in schools, they're pushing for new beliefs. And just to clarify this, because there's some who can't define this, as a female adult, I know what a woman is.
Did she just dab at the end?
No, I think she went like that.
Hey,
No, she dabbed.
I know what a woman.
Here, get back to
Well,
that.
go back.
Oh,
go to
damn
the
it!
end.
No, that was basically a dab.
I told you it wasn't a dab. She went like
That
that.
was Jay was very close to being a dab.
No, she went like that.
Just
That's
needs
not
a-
a dab. That's. I don't know what that is.
There's a new name on the ballot for.
Well,
the
at least he
Senate
didn't
this
try
year.
to attempt a
My
dab.
name is Linda Paulson, Republican and awesome.
Okay,
Love
all right.
God and
Let's get to
family
some
and
more
the
cringe content.
Constitution.
We got
Republican and awesome.
Republican and awesome.
My God.
A true gem. May Linda Paulson
Inshallah.
reign with the fire of 1,000 suns. Justin Trudeau. Oh, hold on. No, yeah, we got to play this. Our resident lib Damon Toll put together this lovely reel of Dash Dabrowski, and honestly, it's enough to make at least give you half a chub, right, Jay?
Oh, absolutely. Every time I watch his videos.
Let's watch this.
Mark. Oh boy, Donald. Pig news. Mark. Pig news. Mike, this is a video that Donald Trump. Oh boy, Lynn. Oh boy, this. Oh boy, not pig news. Donald. Oh boy.
You know that's how he comes, right?
Or pig news.
Oh,
I haven't
yeah.
heard a single Republican denounce Donald Trump for pig news. Oh boy.
That's how he comes.
Hold on.
Sure.
All right, go back to the beginning. Pause it.
Right before he sends a dick pic. I got big news.
Hold on. Go to the beginning, Spencer, and right when I finish this, you hit play. Okay. All right, you ready for it? When you nut and she keeps sucking.
Oh boy, Mark. Oh boy, Donald. Pig news. Mark. Pig news. Mike, this is a video that Donald Trump. Oh boy, Lynn. Oh boy, this. Oh boy, not pig news. Donald. Oh boy, this. Oh boy, or pig news. I haven't heard a single Republican denounce Donald Trump.
Oh shit. Absolutely.
Oh god, yeah. I'm gonna have to use that from now on. All right. So, but there's one more thing that we got to play, and that is our favorite Canadian Prime Minister singing. And this is one of those things that you watch and you think to yourself, "There's no way this is real," right? Let's take a listen.
This is my first time watching it.
Okay.
Oh, we can see why Fidel Castro disowned him.
So Justin Trudeau, someone had this great reply to me. I'm trying to remember where I found it, but I definitely pinned it as a reply because you can do that on Twitter now. But it was one along the lines of like, this is now the worst thing to happen to a queen in the month of September. I need to find this. It's gonna drive me nuts. This is truly like next level type of content. Justin Trudeau making me start to simp for him, really, for how he's putting out
some cringe content.
Absolutely fire content. Oh yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna share this real quick. Give me a sec. Let me. I can't. I can't do it justice. I have to show you. Freddie Mercury getting AIDS is now the second worst thing that could have happened to Queen. God, it's fucking beautiful. Oh man. Okay. We are just wrapping up here. There's a lot of other news I'm sure we missed. Jackson water crisis, media blackout on that. Just a quick word on Jackson water crisis, which is supposedly resolved. They're trying to blame it on white supremacy. There was actually a lot of what's it called, Jay? Bipartisanship working across the aisle between the Mississippi governor Tate Reeves and then the Democratic mayor of Jackson. And I don't even remember it. Oh, I do know his name, but because he has a name like me, of course I forget it. Chokwe Antara Lumumba.
How is that a name like you? How is that even close to a name like yours? How the fuck is that a name close to you in any way, shape, or form?
I don't know what to tell you, Jay. We're all from Africa.
It's a name close to mine. Bomba.
Chokwe Lumumba.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a Pakistani name like I've ever heard it.
That is the most
the most common Pakistani name ever.
Hey, you never know. You never know. Somehow Siraj Hashmi is now an American name, Jay.
No, Siraj Hashmi is an African name now. McQuay Mamba.
It's an African name.
Oh my god. Oh fuck. That's too good.
Let's do a quick Ask Us Anything before we head out of here. We're gonna get us to our 69th minute, so we got a couple minutes, maybe like one.
We got 1 minute, so make that one question.
If we got a super, I can't bring Ernie. There's not enough time. He comes in late. Here it comes. Any super chat? Teddy Sheckler says, "Where did Dabrowski come from? Why is he famous-ish?" I think he became famous because he was one of those people that just put out video after video. I always feel like it's an op. It's intentional that he did it to make himself look crazy. Because honestly, there's no for some people, there's no such thing as bad PR, right, sir? Mujahed, sir, I want you to tell me, is there no such thing as bad PR? Habibi Bros says, which part of Africa is Siraj from? Teddy Sheckler says easy funded like Brooklyn Dead. I need to know.
It's so close.
Cold Beer says Habibi Bros, Rhodesia.
Yes. Thank you very much. That was a great game. Honestly, it was great. That was perfect.
No, it wasn't, Jay.
And look at the original projection too. I was supposed to lose this game.
Jay, cool your tits, okay?
No.
Also, I'm still ahead of you in the rankings.
For now.
Hobby says Southeast Africa. whatever. That's not Zimbabwe. Okay,
Well,
I think that does it for us for tonight. There's really no. I mean, we covered a lot of news tonight, Jay.
Yeah, as much as we could in your time frame because you're a little bitch.
Yeah, 69 minutes into the stream. Thank you all so much for joining us. Any last things that we need to say before we take it out of here? Oh, also, for those of you who are not aware, I'm entering the last day of my Paul Pierce year. That is right. Friday marks the end of an era in which I will no longer be. I will be more than halfway towards 69.
Inshallah. MashaAllah.
Inshallah.
Alhamdulillah.
So, Habibis, hope you all have a very good rest of your night, week, year. Inshallah, we'll be back probably before that year is over. Hopefully, inshallah. Inshallah. We still have at least one more episode left in the month of September that Mary is holding a gun to our head for. It's almost like we're being held hostage, right, Jay?
Absolutely.
I'm totally kidding, Mary. We love you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your help and work on this. It's actually funny. Right before the show started, I didn't have my childhood cancer awareness shirt, and I said to Jay, I said, "You're gonna have to guilt me on the show for not having it," and he guilted me on the spot. What did you say, Jay?
I said something like you care so much about childhood cancer that you can't even go upstairs to get your shirt. Some shit like that.
Something like that. So there you have it. Why are you giving me this? Why are you doing this to me? Okay. You want to give me Boston Celtics news now? Oh my God. I'm going to throw my computer out the window. Hey, we went through a whole episode and I didn't go blurry. Thank you for the birthday wishes, Jay.
Oh, no, you did, like, multiple times.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Well,
No, it's okay, Abu Nambombe. No worries. I'm going to call you Mabombe next.
Oh, my God. Dikembe Mutombo. All right, Habibis, that's been it for us. I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Jay Kobbe.
And special thanks to Spencer Sachs and Ben Morrissey, our interns who are obviously fired. We appreciate you all for joining us tonight on Habibi Power Hour. Make sure you go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. Go ahead and follow us on all our social media. We have a lot of fun. And don't forget our locals channel. Peace it. Masalama.